Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Second in Command podcast. My name is Timothy Simons.
My name is Matt Walsh.
Matt Paul Walsh is here. Matthew Paul along to my left side. We are a podcast. We examine the politics of cinema and cinema about politics.
Yes.
Flatly, I think both Walsh and I are in a weird mood today. This is Thursday. I don't even know what day it is.
So let's say it's the 19th.
Yeah, it's 18th. It's the 18th. So
by the way, who's this right here? This is our friend Alejandro Montoya.
Alejandro, welcome.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Dear friend and director of the recent film I worked on, which we'll talk about. And back to what you're saying, Tim. This is a weird morning. Jimmy Kimmel was laid off of his job as host of Kimmel Show indefinitely because he commented around the politicization by the right of the Charlie Kirk tragic shooting, and ABC had financial stakes in not letting him continue, so they put him away for a while.
Obviously there are a lot of different levels to this. One thing that I just kept thinking about last night was how fucking frustrating it is that a lot of this comes down, because if you actually watch the clip of what he said, like if you want to be upset, and frankly, I would be upset if somebody that I liked got killed and everybody started making fun of him. I understand that. I understand somebody being like, that's really not a nice thing to say. Completely understand that feeling. But this, if you look at the thing that he actually fucking said, it did not downplay the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And in fact, Jimmy Kimmel was one of the first people to come out and say a really beautiful thing of like, this should not happen. I feel terrible for his wife and family. All previous to this. It all comes down to the fucking president doesn't like that these guys make fun of him. That's all this fucking is. And then you have a bunch of sycophant fucking toadies who will do anything to placate the fucking most thin-skinned bullshit man that exists.
While you look for that tweet,
yes,
our friend or Tim's buddy and very funny writer Joe Mandy sent, I just want to say the former presidents, Biden, Bush, Clinton, Obama, all announced after this tragedy the sadness and the importance of civil discourse and not political violence, and they tamped down the flames. The only president who inflamed this situation is our current president.
Yes.
And so there's a huge hypocrisy about complaining about the left radicalizing people to violence when all of the previous presidents, Republicans included, said, hey, civil discourse is what the goal is, and it's a tragedy, and no man, the poor wife and child, that's real stuff, and that's hard for everyone as a human. So there's tremendous hypocrisy around this, obviously. So go ahead.
Yes. And I have, and this is something I've a long held belief, and it might even be, it might be self-serving, but I don't believe political violence only breeds more political violence. Yes. So no, I am not advocating for political violence in any fucking way, and anybody that knows anything probably wouldn't. But this is what Joe Mandy said, and I think it is incredibly spot on to how a lot of people are feeling. So this is from Joe Mandy, and I think it's very apropos. One of my firmest held beliefs is no person, no matter their political leanings, deserves to be sniped in the neck in public by a high-powered rifle. That said, this sudden delirious effort to canonize Charlie Kirk as some sort of heroic civil rights leader is preposterous. The man was a moron, a hate monger, a racist, a sexist, and an objectively terrible debater who proselytized a sick and perverted form of American Christianity. If you can't see that his death is being used as a manipulative tool to help mobilize a fascist takeover of this country, then I'm sorry to say you are as big a moron as Charlie Kirk was. May he rest in peace. That is about as fucking on the nose as you can get it right now. Nobody is saying that anybody should be shot in the fucking neck for wanting to debate. But holy fucking shit, it is being treated as if because this happened, we now have to agree with everything this man said. And most of what this man said is abhorrent.
Yeah.
I understand. Yes, he had a wife and a child, and I truly, as a parent, feel fucking terrible for that. They were there. They shouldn't have had to fucking witness that. But this is fucking wild. So now I have to agree that if you see a black pilot, you should question whether or not that plane is going to crash. This is fucking insane.
I don't understand that leap.
Charlie Kirk.
He said that.
He said that.
I'm sorry. What did he say?
Let me find the quote.
He said, go ahead, please. He said, don't trust a black pilot?
He said that if he would walk into a plane and he saw that the captain was black.
Ignorant.
Yeah.
No, you're not ignorant. The ignorant person is the one saying
No,
that.
I don't follow him.
Yes.
Right? He said if you walk into a plane and there's a black... He said...
that he would question it. And I'm like, what?
If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. This is...
Why?
That's terrible.
So, and now we are at a point where Jimmy Kimmel is being pulled off the air. And I understand like the financial machinations of all that, of like what Nexstar is trying to get. It will ultimately, I guess, you can't legally own more because of antitrust laws. You can't legally own more than 39% of television stations, and they just made a deal that would give them more than that, and so they would need FCC approval. So I understand that what's underneath that is, oh, this company just needs FCC approval and they won't get it if Jimmy Kimmel's on the air.
And their lever against
Lord.
ABC is we're going to stop airing your program, therefore you're going to lose distribution and money from us. And ABC was threatened 2 hours before the firing of Kimmel by the head of our FCC, who, when asked for a comment, sent a meme of The Office of Dwight and
they were like doing the
Raise the Roof
the Raise the
celebration,
Roof
which is like, that is a public official executing their job.
Can I say something?
Yes.
As someone that's lived in 3 countries, Mexico, I was born in the States. I was the first one of my family and lived in Mexico. I think the issue is, as an ESL person, and especially, I noticed that the English language is very to the point, whereas Spanish is more flourish and more, romanticize it.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of issues that are happening with the way they're using vocabulary. What a coincidence that the bill is called the Big Beautiful Bill, because if you are so rushed with life and trying to pay bills, because everything's so expensive and you're just rushing, all you need to hear is Big Beautiful Bill. I don't have to investigate that now. I can keep doing my life. So it's a really good tornado of dizziness, and only throw in certain words to keep you in somewhat spinning, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's with synonyms, and it's with adjectives, and if English is your first language, why are you afraid? The First Amendment doesn't give you the right to say whatever you want. It's like being in the place in high school. Go say whatever you want. You're gonna get slapped.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I've been in fights. I don't know if Mr. Kirk was.
Yeah.
From what I can tell.
And I understand, and like there is this thing of like we always do say like freedom of speech versus freedom of consequence. Those are not, and so like these private businesses have the ability to say we can cancel the Jimmy Kimmel Show. They have the right to do that.
And the cornerstone of civil society is you cannot take murder into your own hands. You can arrest people and let the courts adjudicate it and give him a trial amongst his peers, and then states allow you to execute that person. But the cornerstone we all agree on is like consequences, yes, but not murder. And we all understand that.
But there is a difference here in that it is so clearly a private company censoring speech because the government has told them we don't like it. That is exactly what this is. And that
what's happening is all of these CEOs have teams, and the actual executives like Cook from Apple and Bezos from Amazon and Elon and Zuckerberg, they literally have to go to D.C. and tell Trump, you're so handsome, you're so smart, because in previous times it was just like, we'll discuss it with lobbyists and we'll create a bill, but you just have to kiss the ring because it's so mercurial, and that's how business is done. And so Disney will have future negotiations and they will have future mergers they're targeting, and they know that this mercurial president, you constantly have to curry favor and prove your loyalty to him.
Yes.
And he has created that environment, and the language you speak of is essentially propaganda.
Of course.
Like it's in the playbook of fascism. You lie all the time and you say the truth is the lie, and you confuse the space with rhetoric, and you discredit the media. We are rolling down that hill very fast. I mean, I don't know where we are, probably close, but
it's just fucking massively frustrating. And like, I saw a very funny thing yesterday that was like, where somebody, it was like on a tweet or whatever, that was like, if you are somebody that actually thought that like Donald Trump and all of these toadies and all of these people were truly about free speech, I feel so bad.
Of course.
I feel so bad for you, because you are the person that has to call the bank 4 times a year because you fell for somebody saying that they were the wallet inspector. You have to like get your cards back 4 times a year because there was like, somebody told me they were the wallet inspector and they took all the stuff out of my wallet. It's just, you're the dumbest fucking person alive if you think these people in good faith were actually interested in free speech. And I will say, I didn't want to fucking talk about Charlie Kirk I don't want to fucking talk about Charlie Kirk publicly. I don't want to give voice to a person I didn't enjoy. Like when it comes to people like him and Ben Shapiro, for me personally, I don't talk about them because I don't want to point people in the direction. I don't like quote tweet dunking on people because it really just drives more of an audience to these people. So I don't like talking about them.
Yeah, but I had a similar move when Trump first came on the scene. I'm like, I'm not going to give any oxygen to this guy, but now he runs the racket.
Yeah.
And so he is the conversation.
Anyway, it's just a really odd day to have you in.
No, this is good
Thoughts?
to talk about this, man. I'm trying to put everything together, man. I've been stopped in Vegas because I was talking Spanish by cops. I've been stopped here by ICE. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And it's pretty...
Man, fuck them.
It's pretty shitty, man, because you can't even fight. You can't even fight them because they're a bunch of pussies that cover their faces and then use like batons and shit. Like, they drop the baton, homie, let's go. Like, dude, it's... Imagine if we all were able to... Hey, we're all going to throw down. Dude, the audience will... The crowd. This is the French Revolution, and that's why I wanted to do The Dark Knight Rises, because that's literally what happens in the movie.
Well, this whole time
we've been talking about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Psych.
Psych.
So our first question is, why did you choose this movie?
Oh, well, because they took 2 of the other movies that I really wanted to
You initially wanted Dark Knight Rises and In the Line of Fire.
Yeah.
So your first choices were taken, and then you said, I'll do Abraham Lincoln.
I don't know if Lamorne has a Batman tattoo, but I'm actually noticing that you have a Batman tattoo on your arm.
Yeah, he's hardcore.
Well, hardcore in the geek side, right?
Yeah.
You got a tattoo, and that is not even hardcore anymore.
Well, you're loyal. You have an obvious favorite superhero, is
Yes,
what I would
do,
say.
and it's the Flash.
And I was asking him yesterday, we're talking about Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
What is the thesis statement of Ra's al Ghul's monastery? Like, he formed it to train mercenaries to topple governments that he didn't like or that people paid him to do. Is that simply what he was up to?
So kind of like basing... he's a very exaggerated revolutionary. Once a society like Rome or Constantinople or whatever gets too big, and it's corrupt, or the French, you know, I think he mentions 1 or 2 of them. That's when they go in. Like I feel like Ra's al Ghul will come in right about now to be like, here we go.
So he will only take on or topple governments that he dislikes. He's not just doing it for a check, in a way. He has like an ethical core to what he does.
Compass,
a moral compass.
For sure.
Like when a society gets too much power, gets too big, he goes in.
But who is he to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So imagine I trained. What's the temple he has? Ra's al Ghul's. Does it have a name?
What is it? The League of Shadows?
Okay,
League
so
of
imagine
Shadows,
I trained in the League of Shadows, and I served.
Which I could see you being really good at.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I could infiltrate as a very harmless looking chap.
Yeah.
But once I get close, I just stab him once and I'm out. And nobody would go, Walsh didn't do it. He's the nicest guy in the world.
You get up to like the monastery at the top of the mountain, and they're like, "What are you doing up here?" And you're like, "I don't know, man. I just kind of was like on the path, and I guess I just do you know where I'm at? Like, you know." And it's like cold out here. I didn't like dress.
You got a cup
for
of
this.
water?
You got like a cup of
Oh,
water.
you're the best. You're the fucking best, man.
Look, let me just stay a couple of days, and then I'll be out of here by Monday.
Yeah, I'd love to stay. Are you asking me?
Tuesday night, he's at like directly to the right of Ra's al Ghul, being like, "Hey, Raza, you sure about that?"
Hey, have you guys ever thought of white rice instead of brown rice? And a little soy sauce? Just a little salt? I mean, I know you're kind of...
It's not a big change.
No, my question is... So
A little flavor in it. You know?
Yeah. And meat once in a while?
Yeah.
It's not terrible. I mean, you got all these chickens running around. They're delicious. And eggs are good. I trained for 20 years, hypothetical.
Yes.
And I toppled some governments, made a little money, and then I'm like, I'm out. I walk away, and I meet a wonderful woman, and we have a family. What am I teaching my children about the world from what I learned in the monastery? That's my question.
Well, I don't know if I could answer that. But I mean...
That's what I want to get at. What is... Because you meet guys who do karate and kung fu, and they have this very like disciplined and like equal, you know, you don't start fights but you finish them. There's like a philosophy to it. I'm just curious what these men and women take out of there in their free world, and what beliefs they form outside of the orders that Roz gives them.
I mean, I wish I had that movie to discuss.
That is a good movie.
It's a great
They keep
movie.
calling me back. Like he's the guy. He's like Denzel could play it. Like he did 20 years and he's out, and they keep calling him back, but he has to do something vigilante, and he just puts on the cloak from his days. And
That would be cool.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
Tell me how you guys first met, because you guys worked on a movie that's coming out in the very near future.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to talk about the movie, but also like talk about how you guys first met. And
We met in Albuquerque. We were in the movie Flaming Hot.
oh, nice.
Yeah, and I shared a makeup trailer with him almost every day, and we bonded over film. We hung out, and we went out to a brewery, and we just like I didn't want to nerd out until like I had a couple of beers, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, I know who you are, dog." And I started talking to him, and I'm like, "Let me nerd out for 5 minutes," and from there we just film. Like we wrote a script together that got really, really, really close to being bought by Netflix. Really close, and the process of that was cool because you obviously as someone who is not as established, you want to prove yourself, and he taught me a lot of like moderation, and that was really cool because you kind of, the process of doing film, I think it takes slower for a lot of people because no one wants to really give you tips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool when people are hinting at things. And there goes the whole ESL thing, because sometimes when I was younger, I didn't understand that they're giving me innuendos when I was like, oh, you're telling me this, got it. And then I would go, fuck it up. And then I'm like, oh, damn, they were saying it differently. Oh, okay. So no, it was a really cool experience. And then by doing that, we did a short film with Morgan, with your wife, and with the magician, Chris Angel. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was an experience and a half. Remember when they whisked us into to hang out with Gary Oldman's son, and he was such a nice guy.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, he treated us awesome. And then I pitched him an idea for a movie, and the movie is called The Unexpecteds, and that's the movie that we made, and we premiered last night.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
When does it come out?
October 14 on video on demand.
All right,
and
cool.
physical media.
Hell yeah. There we go. Hard media.
Tim's a fan of physical media.
I'm a fan of physical media.
More
He has a
people should.
wonderful, is it Blu-ray? you have?
Yeah, Blu-ray and 4K collection.
Hell yeah.
He's got a beautiful library. When you zoom with him, sometimes you see it in the background. It's very dedicated.
Yeah.
Do you collect Manta Labs?
No, what are Manta Labs?
Oh my!
What are Manta Labs?
Manta Labs is a company that gets movies and like remasters them and puts them in, not just in a Blu-ray, but like a big. Remember I showed you those Drive ones and the Revenant ones? It's like they put holographic covers. It has stuff inside,
Oh,
booklets.
yes. No, so I do have,
Yes.
so it's like a specific label.
Yeah.
I think are they the one that made like the American Psycho one that has the blood inside
That's
of the...
no, but that's awesome.
Okay.
I've seen that.
I
one.
have a few, there are a few places that do that kind of thing. Like I have a Third Man one where when you open it up, it's almost like a little pop-up book with the Ferris wheel.
Oh,
and
that's
it
cool.
plays the theme song.
Nice.
Like when you open it up, it plays the theme song.
That's
like
cool.
the refrain. It's incredible.
I'll show you some Mental Labs, dude.
All right, please do.
The Drive one is amazing because it's like it's got pink like fur inside the thick. It's super
And
cool.
Tim's
That's
been in the Criterion Closet.
I was in
Oh,
the Criterion
dude.
Closet.
I took a picture of it when I was at TIFF. I didn't get the invite. I don't have the heat right now.
Let me start some shit.
Yeah, but someday I'll get in there. And by the way, Criterion Closet, we need a sponsor. So
Oh
Yeah,
my
guys,
you're
if
watching,
you want to...
Tim is a huge fan, and I would develop a hobby if
You know
guys
what?
came
You
over.
know what I got to do? We got this table right here. We got to start putting stuff on the table. I got to start bringing in Criterion stuff.
Yes, you guys should review one
Anything.
Criterion film and tag them.
It's a great idea.
Thanks.
That's a great
Thanks.
idea.
Oh,
And you could like put it there and have 5 minutes and like, hey, we watched one Criterion film and this is the Criterion film and it's on the app. Check it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love that. How did you become interested in film?
Ooh. Damn. When I was 3, I remember my first experience in the movie theater.
Okay. Oh, which is one
of our questions.
One of the, this is great. This is one of the
Oh, should
questions
I
that we'll ask
skip it?
later.
Yeah.
No, tell us now.
Okay.
Tell us now, and then we'll throw it in that one too.
I saw a Spanish film named Cati la Oruga, and it's about a worm that grows to be a butterfly. And I remember the of the curtain and everything, and I just like I knew immediately what I wanted to do.
live action or animated?
Animated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just movies in general. Like I knew that I had like ADHD, and I know that that's thrown around now. Like, but I was a Ritalin kid.
Yeah, me too.
Like I'm always shaking, and it's always like just jumping to. That's why smoking weed helps me because I can. My brain, instead of going to, I'm paying attention to you, and it's already at 3. Like going to, and it's not. You try,
Yeah.
but sometimes you can't help it, especially if there's like a stressful situation. Anyway, why did I get into that?
We asked you, why did you get into film? And you said your first memorable experience just blew your mind, and you were continuing to search for that feeling. It's funny, Kevin Smith said last night, he introduced the movie because he's an executive producer, and he said, I went to school, I had friends, I played sports, I went to church, but I never learned anything like I did when I sat in a movie theater. And I thought that's a great way to summarize how meaningful watching stories in a dark room with other people can change you and can reach a part of you that all these other institutions and communities, which are very valuable, but they're not the same.
They're not the same.
Yeah.
How? So you
By the
mentioned-
way, last thing.
Yeah.
We watched the movie last night with like 400 people watching a comedy. Like, when's the last time you did that? It was like,
Dude.
it was like being in a gospel church, like the contagion of laughter and the general like uplift after the movie and people. Anyways,
Yeah. You mentioned you grew. You said you lived in 3 places. Did you grow up in Mexico?
Yeah, I was born in Laredo, Texas, and then that was funny that because of an incident of a mugging, that's so weird. I just put that together. We moved to Mexico, and I think Mexico gets a bad rap, and I can tell you because I've lived in both countries. There's dangerous parts in everywhere in the world. In Vancouver, I was in the great film school where Kevin was at, a block away. There was people with needles, doing crack, fucking crazy shit. Crazy shit. And they can't even say anything, just like, a block over there, that way, don't go there at a certain time. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And I went to Mexico. We went to Mexico to Mérida, Yucatan. So now that Tulum is like super popular, I used to know that when there was nothing.
Yeah.
Like a hospital, a place to buy beer and whatever. And it was magical. That taught me a lot because it showed how cool people from Mexico are, of like, you were the odd one in typical comedies or whatever. The new kid has to struggle more. Man, they didn't do that shit to me.
Yeah.
They embraced me, and they're very, everyone gets nicknames because they're testing you. Let's see how quick this guy snaps. So they put you through tests, and if you can take it, you can dish it. which is like a lot of people now that they can't dish it or they can't take it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you
Yeah.
build that relationship where if my friend, I can call him a motherfucker, not anyone can. I can and he can. And because we've built this trust, we know each other, we know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And like I said, with synonyms, there's a video that Francisco made where you say chinga tu madre and how many different definitions it has, depending on your tone.
Did you, when you moved back to the States?
He will go in any direction. I love him.
Yeah. When you moved back to the States,
Oh yeah.
where did you go first? Like, did you come to Los Angeles like for film? Where did you go after
Mexico.
Mexico?
After Mexico, I went to Canada and I studied film in Vancouver.
Cool.
Inspired by Senor Kevin Smith,
Hell yeah.
Rodriguez, Bigelow, Soderbergh, all of those guys. John Woo, good Lord, man. I love John Woo films, man. They're so good.
We just watched Mission Impossible 2 with the kids. I haven't like shown them Hard Boiled or The
God.
Killer yet because there's still like a little like they're 13s. You know, I'm not trying to hit them with everything yet, but like it was really fun to be like, yo, when the doves come out, keep slow motion birds are going to be a big deal in John Woo movies, just so you know. And like it's fun to like start introducing them to like the idea of like the things that filmmakers bring from film to film. You know?
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
the references,
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love his movies, and I even have a John Woo T-shirt. I love it. I would if my ideal movie would make something like Broken Arrow.
Oh,
That is so much fun.
Yeah.
What a fun movie.
Yeah.
So Vancouver, what was that like?
Culture shock.
Yeah.
Cool. Hard
Did you
working.
say last night you had to kind of relearn English, like sharpen your English when you were up there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
1,000%.
As you were
And
in college?
even more when I moved to Albuquerque after Vancouver, the economic crisis happened and we couldn't come to LA because I think out of the student loan that I had, I think I only had $2,000. And I said, well, that's just going to last me a month. I can't do that. So we moved to Albuquerque because it was just starting to explode with Breaking Bad. And I stayed in Albuquerque for 13, 14 years.
Well, what were you doing there? Were you trying to work on sets? Were you trying to make your own stuff?
I did a bunch, man. I worked as a telemarketer because I thought that would improve my English and help me sell projects more because no one's going to trust me more than me. I'm not, I don't come from money, so they're not going to be like, oh, well, tell your dad Steven or Mr. Scorsese. It's like, I wish, right? You can't do that. So I had to build credibility in time so then the words that I say, unlike some people, they mean something. And they actually, like if I'm telling you, yeah, we can fill a 400-seater, we're not lying. Because it's so common everywhere. Like, yeah, I'll get thousands of people. I'm like, it's really hard. I don't know if you can. Time has made me cautious
Yeah.
and a little bit more reserved.
And you worked in, did you work in like a Telemundo affiliate for a moment?
Dude, I did so much work in Albuquerque. I had 2 jobs. At one point, I was doing those Walmart commercials of like, hi, I'm the mom, and we're going to compare prices at Smith's. I did those for 2 years as a producer in Spanish and English, more Spanish than English. And then I did a bunch of Marlboro shoots as a PA. I worked on Bless Me Ultima. I worked on Breaking Bad. Didn't even get a credit as a PA, but I was there the day they killed Mike.
Oh.
No shit.
And they had me sign paperwork and all the shit. It was super cool.
That's cool.
I worked at a grip company. I did everything, my man.
Tim would like this. So that guy is your buddy. Who runs that company now?
Ryan Halsey, the DP.
Ryan, our DP, who's very talented. He runs the kind of equipment company that you would love because he was telling me they fucking wrangle and clean the cables before they put them back. They clean all the lenses before they put them back because sometimes you get gear and the C-stands are all greasy and bent
Not at
up.
Serious Grippage and Light in Albuquerque. That I can vouch, dude.
What did you learn when you worked there?
I learned work ethic from Ryan Halsey because we're very different. He's very, I wouldn't say safe, but he's even more cautious than I am. I guess safe, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would, after lifting, hey, those cables weigh 100 pounds each. And then a big production has, there's 300. Get to it. You're tired. You want to just get out of there. And Ryan would stop and check every fucking light. and clean it and well, see, it teaches you to not just half-ass shit.
You
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I love that.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Ryan Halsey, I love you, homie.
Yeah.
Great dude.
Yeah, and then you did the Robert Rodriguez reality show.
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead a little, but how did you end up back in Austin in that gig?
Dude, that was one of the craziest experiences. I got my first gig, and it was recording a couple of like soccer commercials that are on my YouTube page. I love them because we channeled kind of like what Casey Neistat did, but before he got really, really big. When he did that HBO show, we got a bunch of money. We got $40K. So we could either use that $40K to shoot something where we are at, or use that $40K and go guerrilla across Europe. And we did that. So we shot stuff in Spain and Italy, London, France. It was one of the craziest experiences of my life. And before we went, they called me from El Rey, and they were like, congratulations, you're one of the top, I think 20. It started at 20 or 40, and then it kept going. And when it got to like 10, I was like, I just want to be upfront that I will not be available these time periods because I got a gig, and it's just a week. But after that, anything you want. And they go, you got it, Ryan Crow, you son of a gun. If he sees this. And then we're in Italy after missing a plane and like getting super drunk with a bunch of Australian people. It was amazing. No, we were at a nightclub in Italy and I didn't speak Italian. And I'm just trying to speak Italian in my Spanish. They're like, ¿cómo se dice? It was great though. See, dude, it was a crazy night. And the next day I was asleep, hungover, and they called me. Congratulations, you're one of the top 7 to get into Rebel Without a Crew. We need your script by Monday. This is a Thursday. And I go, well, I can't do it because I'm here like I said. And they go, well, we could give it to someone else. And I go, well, hang on.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. And I had to write the script in 4 days. While I was shooting the commercials, man.
Wow.
It was intense.
That right there, I feel like is a pretty good lesson about one thing that I've realized in working in film and television, which is nobody gives a shit about the thing that you said you weren't going to be. That time frame that you weren't going to be available for, they don't give a shit at all. You can tell them 100 times. And then
I have a vacation in July that I cannot violate.
Yes.
Got it.
100%.
We're filming in July.
We're filming in July.
Yeah.
Actually, we're filming on the one day
Aaron
you
jumped
said.
in.
My wedding is July 14th.
Oh.
Can't do it. Booked it.
Of course.
Congratulations on both things then.
That's not tr- that was just
No, but that is exactly the kind of like, you know, both in that thing of like, oh, if you want to get a job, book a vacation. There's that, like, you know, the old saying. There's that old saying. But then there's just this thing of like, kind of like, they don't give a shit. Like, the train's moving. Like, the train's moving, jump on or not. And what that leads to is like a lot of conversation. Obviously, it's like a lot easier when you don't have like a wife and kids. It's a little bit easier to jump on the train if it's just you. But then like, it leads to so many conversations. And Walsh, I know you've had these too, where all of a sudden you get a call at like 5:30 on the way home, and you have to like go home to your wife and children and be like, all right, look, so I know that we had talked about what the next month and a half of our lives looked like. That's all different now. And like, that's the thing of just being like, fuck, all right, everybody's just got to be willing to sort of move and be lithe and pivot. But of course they were like, yeah, 100% we get it. And then they were like, well, we could go to somebody else.
Very simple.
Yeah.
And it's, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
Because there's another 7 million that are trying to do what we're doing, or what other people, we're trying to do what they're doing. And they have more connections, and they're richer, and they have time to be lazy, or have time to take meetings, where that's, I think, the hustle of Hollywood is how do you support yourself while taking the financial risks and hits and no's and hits and no's and no's with no phrases. Just no, and don't grin, or else you're difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids out here who move out from college and their rent's been paid for, and you're like, you fucking...
That sounds amazing.
That is something I've been talking about a lot recently, about like, there's like a Nepo baby conversation. that seems like it's been coming up a lot lately. Nepotism in Hollywood has been happening for fucking ever, number one. And my gripe with nepotism is not as like clean cut as that, where it's like, oh, like it makes sense if your parents are in the industry. It's something you know. It's something you grew up around. It's something you probably love it. Like, but it just seems that like but this is a broad statement I would say for the entire country, is that the way that the economic inequality has led to an entertainment world where it just seems like unless you are able to have your apartment paid for by your parents, there's how do you break into this? Whatever, in the 70s, it used to, I mean, like we had nepotism kids in the 70s, but you also had like a truck driver's son who lived in LA and was able to build a career. And that just like the actual economics of the business aren't like that anymore. And that's more where my frustration with.
I have a anecdotal example of this. When I was in New York, I got invited to some MTV event, Madison Square Garden. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young was playing. All four were there. I'd never seen them.
Okay.
It was incredible.
I'm a Crosby, Stills, Nash guy.
Fair enough.
I like Young, but
on
as
own.
a separate entity. Yeah.
Yeah, it changes the flavor, doesn't it?
Changes the flavor.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the concert, they had a woman come up from MTV and announce what the event was raising money for. And they were raising money for scholarships for kids whose parents were already working in the music industry.
Get the hell out of here.
I'm not kidding you. I'm like, what is happening? Like, they're not being served enough. We have to get Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young together to raise money for the parents who are already in good jobs to pass on scholarships to their kids to get more jobs in the industry. That's real. Like, that was like, isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. This whole time we've been talking about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Of course.
So we know the things that you were not allowed to choose. Why did you choose Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter out of the rest of the options?
Because I thought we were going to have fun.
Honestly, you're not wrong. We're going to kick it to historian Walshy, who's going to give you the lead up of what the world looked like in the year leading up to the release of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Nice.
And I do have one little thing that I want to say as soon as he's done.
You can say it now. I'm still pulling.
Okay. I auditioned for Abraham Lincoln Vampire.
For what
Abe?
character?
For Abe.
Yeah,
Get out
he has
of
a history
town.
of playing Abe.
So I played, and this was before Veep, and I had really not gone in on... I mean, I don't even really know if I had an agent. I had like a commercial agent, but I didn't have like a theatrical agent. And I had played Abraham Lincoln in a Geico commercial. And a friend of mine who was like the husband of my boss, he like went in for an audition at the company that was at the casting agency that was casting this, and was like, she was like, oh, by the way, you should like call in my buddy. And like, we didn't even know each other that well. It was like kind of wild that he like took this opportunity to say this, because he wasn't like a super established guy either. I really thank him for all of a sudden just being like, you should take a look at my buddy Tim. But it was basically just, he's tall. He played Abraham Lincoln once before in a Geico commercial. I had to do a scene from the movie, and then the second thing you had to do was read the Gettysburg Address.
Wow.
And I did the audition, and it was one of those ones where they did not ask me to read the Gettysburg Address. You know what I mean?
Already?
Where they're like, yeah, we don't need to see that second part. Like, we're good. Thank you so much for coming in.
What was your take on Abe when you came in the room? Did you have like a deeper voice? How did you come into it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think I just tried to play it pretty straight, like, you know, in that way of like, I wasn't gonna come in and be like, your voice Gordon 7 years, you know.
All right, here's what's happening in the world. So we like to set the mood for the nation when they sat down in the theater. It's like, what's in their unconscious? What are the stories in the news and pop culture that they're obsessing about? So we killed bin Laden in the year leading up to this.
Okay.
Remember that Strauss-Kahn guy got Me Too'd because he was molesting a maid at that Sofitel in New York?
Yes.
And he was an
Is that
IMF guy.
IMF guy.
Yep.
Yeah, Impossible Mission Force guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Wiener dick pics were happening.
Oh my God, I remember those.
Casey Anthony found guilty. Do you remember that story?
Yeah, that girl that killed her baby.
Kid, yeah.
Not guilty.
Or
Oh,
I think she
allegedly,
was
I don't
found
know.
not guilty.
Yeah, she's never been found guilty.
thank you.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Big
Whatever.
difference between guilty and not guilty. This is the language again.
Yeah. So long ago.
This is why I'm not a newscaster.
Good.
Donald Trump loses. No, sorry, didn't lose. Amy Winehouse died. Whitney Houston died.
Damn.
Obama announced our withdrawal from Iraq. The quagmire removal began. Mm-hmm. Brought this up the other day. Jeremy Linsanity. That was huge.
That was wild.
That was fun. That was a fun story. Obama and Romney getting ready. And the planet hit 7 billion population. So turns out there's a lot of people here. TV shows in that year that we're hitting and talking about. Game of Thrones starting out. Homeland. So on board with both of those shows. Mm-hmm. Modern Family. Great show. Probably Veep, but it didn't come up. Sorry. We were early.
Wait, what year was this?
Well, 2012 June is when this came out. We probably premiered in 2012. April.
We premiered in April of 2012.
So it hadn't hit traction.
we hadn't gotten there
People
yet.
were still wondering, like, why isn't Jonah running for Congress?
Yeah.
New Girl, our friend Lamorne.
Yeah.
That dropped then.
Who took
Great
your movie?
show.
Two Broke
Great
Girls.
show.
Nice.
Great show.
And just to point out a show that's still on and still may never go away, NCIS was popular.
With
Gary Cole.
With Gary Cole. Currently Gary Cole.
Love him. Top songs, these are just polls, not any way specific to any category. Rolling in the Deep, Adele. Last Friday Night, Katy Perry. Party rock anthem, LMFAO. Do you know that one? Mm-hmm. Give me a lyric.
Party rock will make you lose your mind.
Party rock is gonna.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
That's an earworm.
That's a big
I
one.
saw LMFAO in, like, we had lived in LA for like 2 weeks. This is before LMFAO hit huge.
Oh.
And a friend of mine knew their manager and was like, hey, come to this club. I think it was called like Ivar. It was over like across. Yeah. So we went to Ivar and they did like those two big songs.
Yeah.
And everybody was really fucking into it. Like, I managed, it was like, I keep saying, like, does it count as indie cred if the band is LMFAO?
At that time, I guess, yeah.
I think it may, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Call Me Maybe, Carly Rae.
Good song.
Give Me Everything, Pitbull. I don't remember that one.
Me neither.
And The A-Team by Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
Consumer products. We love this one. This kind of tells you where technology was leading us. Siri dropped.
Wow.
This is a good product. They came up with a really good malaria vaccine.
Nice.
Robert Kennedy said not good.
Robert Kennedy
Not on
said
my
not
watch.
Good. Yeah, not on my watch.
It's going to give you autism.
There was a clip of him earlier today, individually, one by one. He's just going through and stomping on all the syringes that have the malaria vaccine. It's going to take him a while, but he was like, this is the only way to get it done.
Does these kind of people think we're living in the 40s where we go to the movies and da 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 in the news today, and then he's just stomping on them, putting an end to syringes? Like, I swear, it feels so cartoonish.
Yeah. Robert Kennedy Jr. stamps out the scourge of vaccines.
Autism will be a thing of the past, according to Robert Kennedy. The Amazon Kindle. Mm-hmm. This is a big one that changed people's lives and our enjoyment of movies. The Reese's Minis came out.
Oh. Now
I know
we're
those well.
talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
This trend I hated, but it's still around. They came up with those Bailey's Irish Cream coffee creamers. You know how like everything's fucking flavored now? When all you want is just a creamer, it's always like mint or chocolate.
They've
or
got a
hazelnut.
hazelnut. Here's one thing I'm going to say.
You're going to go to bat. Bring it. This is free speech.
I
you know
celebrate
what?
Free speech. Free speech, God damn it. You're not taking my fucking guns from me.
Free speech.
Free
go ahead.
speech.
Say what you want.
Yeah, with a gun pointed at you.
I find that there are a few circumstances in the world in which I don't know how they haven't figured out how to make coffee. Private golf courses, despite being bastions of wealth, I don't belong to a private golf course. Their coffee fucking sucks.
What do you think that is? Is it the ground? Funny enough.
Maybe it is. I don't. I mean, I think maybe they are. They're just like mass buying. It's just maybe not good grounds. Maybe they don't care. Maybe there's a sense of pride that our coffee's bad. And film sets also, like, it's really hit or miss on if the drip coffee's going to be good. Now, I'm just like a straight oat milk guy. Don't like flavoring. But when you're at a place with bad coffee, I really like that there's a French vanilla or a hazelnut or a Bailey's, because it cuts the flavor of the bad coffee. You know what I mean? I'm not all the time.
Just put sugar in. You don't need flavor. Don't tell me it's got to have cocoa hint and mint hint and hazelnut hint and peppermint hint. It's coffee, so just the simple things you add are cream and sugar. And any variation of that is like going to a restaurant where they give you a deconstructed pizza and there's like dough on this plate and they scratched up cheese and there's a cup of hot sauce and there's a suspended pepperoni and a liquefied egg yolk. It's like, fuck off.
Dude's fucking making America great again over
Hell
here. Stephen Miller is all fucking pissed off about
you know what?
Flavored coffee creamer.
If this is the one thing that starts building a bridge, I'll talk to Stephen Miller about cuisine.
So be it.
And we'll avoid everything else. And then they made body armor for women. So you can defend yourself from bullets in a shapely way.
Oh,
So
nice.
feminism affected
And
that
keep
market.
that figure.
Yeah.
And then like fashion trends, which I've noticed, we talked about the rate of like things changing now. Like in the old days, if a fashion trend was like the mods came over and like mini skirts were happening and like guys were wearing like berets, it stuck around for a year and it was like a national thing. Nowadays, trends move month to month. And like the later the movie is, the trends I feel like are less specific. So the fashion trends for this year, it was called retro glamour, playful prints, colored jeans, neons and electric shades, Art Deco designs and jazz age motifs. Lace was big, beading, silk, organza. Anybody know what that means? And then floral appliques. Like, does that even mean anything to you?
That
Like,
doesn't mean anything.
That's what I mean. Like, chain wallet means something. to me.
Oh,
Exactly. It's so wide.
Trucker hat means something to me.
trucker hat means something.
Yeah.
It's specific and
A
it
floral
digs in.
applique. I don't know.
Why was Art Deco so specific to that year? Art Deco's been living for forever.
Yeah.
I know, but it didn't resonate. Like, I never bought or I never dated a woman who was like living the Art Deco life for a year. It just seems very like ephemeral, these trends.
There are times where it's like, if we were to do something in like if we were going to film a movie or talk about a movie that was in 2002, we could definitely talk about like that sort of like skinny jeans strokes resurgence.
Yeah.
You would see that, and I felt like, but none of those things do I feel. But again, I'm not super tuned into fashion.
Yeah.
I don't really recognize a lot of that from day-to-day fashion of the
I
time.
think there's probably a tipping point in like 08, 09 when smartphones became ubiquitous or whenever that happened, that everything just moved so quickly. And it's like right now, what would be a trend that you could apply to this era, this moment in our fashion lives? Is there something?
I think the minimalist kind of look.
Paint a picture of a dude or a dudette who's dressed minimally.
I feel like a lot of people are. I mean, it's so weird because it's so casual. Like girls wear jeans and a white shirt a lot now. But but it's like, but isn't that like the poster of like Guess jeans casual wearing?
right now I feel like that we're going back into more loose fitting
90s for sure.
90s jeans. Oh, like Jinkos are back for the kids, but I would say like the Kendrick Lamar wearing those boot cut jeans at the Super Bowl was basically like a line in the sand of skinny jeans are no longer around and now everybody's wearing looser
So
jeans.
uncomfortable.
Huh?
They're so uncomfortable.
Skinny jeans?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
also me.
Yeah.
You know, but I never liked them.
Yeah, they're for skinny people.
Yes, they are.
How do you feel broadly? How do you feel about it? And again, every movie's a miracle. A lot of people worked really hard on Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and we're not here to denigrate the hard work of
Well,
artisans.
my first note, their mistake was not hiring you. This movie
That
would have
was-
been so much more watchable with you at the center of it.
I appreciate
But
that.
you might not have met me. That might have taken you in a movie career, and you
That-
might not have gotten into Veep. So
That's true.
you
That's
might
true.
have not been able to audition.
Alternate dimension.
Yeah.
What were your broad thoughts?
I to be honest, I did not enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
There's cool stuff about it. There's great shots. There's one really cool payoff that I dug, like in the scene where Abraham Lincoln's dad takes away the cane from the guy and there's a gun revealed, and then later the way he kills him, I thought that was badass.
Yeah. Yeah, the axe has a...
Yeah, that
all of a
was
sudden
cool.
the axe
That
is
was
a gun.
badass.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I think let's start with positives. I think some of the, or a lot of the non-CGI stunt choreography and stunt work, I thought was really good.
Yes.
Like when it was just two people, clearly two human beings fighting, I was like, oh, cool. But it also made me think, I think they're adding a stunt, or like a stunt choreography Oscars category.
Oh, cool.
They've taken... Jesus Christ, it's about time.
It's about time. But here's one thing that if you were somebody that was like, I don't think that should be a category, it's because there would have been a possibility that it would have been Oscar nominee Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Hey, man.
And you know what? I
go with it.
Again, I think that's where like the cognitive dissonance there is like, oh my God, this could have been an Oscar nominee. Really good stunt choreography.
Yeah.
When it was just two human beings fighting.
Can I look at my phone to see what other movies? I want to make sure about the director.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Because I
ahead.
think this guy did Wanted. And I'm
Okay.
almost
Oh,
positive
did he?
yeah.
No, I just looked myself.
No?
He did Ben-Hur, the remake in 2016.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Then I am completely off.
He's produced a bunch of stuff, so he might have produced Wanted.
Perfect.
I'll say I thought the title's amazing.
Yeah. And
I
Yes.
thought the world or the premise of the film where basically vampires run the South and they're feeding on black people to fuel their lives. That's
Yeah.
a great take on racism and the plague of what, our nation is still dealing with. Like, what if it was they are essentially vampires in many ways. The parallels are remarkable. So it's a wonderful premise.
yeah.
100% great premise.
yeah.
And to that point, like the great premise of it, like this, there was because my sister owned an indie bookstore.
Nice.
This, in the years leading up to this, there was this one imprint or this one guy who I think ultimately wrote the script for this movie, who would take these like not common law. What's the word I'm looking for?
Public domain.
Public domain.
Nice.
Public domain stories.
I need a job where I do that, where I give people the word they're looking for. I'm pretty good at that. I don't know what that skill is, but anyways.
It's where, so I think it started out with Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
Yes.
He would just take the story and put in a genre element to it. Abraham Lincoln Vampire was one of them. There was like a bunch of titles, and they, as books, sold really well because there was a big zombie and vampire sort of resurgence
Right.
around that time.
You're right.
Take Public Domain, and the books all did really, really well. And so, yeah, the premise of it is great. The fact that he found that metaphor for the South and being...
And there are more
vampires and all
books written about Abraham Lincoln than any historical figure in America. He is the most written about president and perhaps American figure. He really is the most published person. And so to me, what that means is, in the way that I think I've said this before, he's like a Rorschach for whatever you want to put onto him. Like it's almost like Jesus. Like, I'm going to take Jesus, but I'm going to give my perspective on the world through the voice of Jesus. So he's a perfect guy, like they did with Diana. There was a big run of Diana movies. She was this template like Marilyn Monroe about femininity. I'm going to tell my take on the world through her story. And I think it's a great idea to get inside this historical figure and then tell a view of the world that you enjoy telling.
There's something about this movie, and maybe let's get into this movie's not great.
I texted Tim and said, I'm so fucking angry that we're watching this one.
Yeah.
Because I don't like horror, so that's my prejudice. And so
I love horror,
And
so
my
I'm
pride.
anyone in the sound, anyone
and my zombies.
anyone in the sound department, any of the actors who might be watching the show, you guys are awesome. And
did a
like
kick-ass
Tim
job.
said, it's a miracle to make a movie and to bring it home. So amen to that. But my personal one vote is like, I can't think of. I literally had to turn it off because I was so angry.
Yeah.
And I had to walk away. I'm like, fucking can't believe we're doing this movie.
Were there not enough scenes of Dr. Mudd?
Thank you.
Oh,
They don't even
that's
talk
right.
about
They don't
the
even
best figure
talk
of the
about
Civil
Dr.
War,
Mudd.
the most complicated character of the Civil War.
I did a quick Google, and I think a quick Google. I think this director produced Wanted 2. But this guy, I saw his first feature film, and that's why I wanted to see it. There was this. I think he's Russian. I don't remember.
He's from Kazakhstan. Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Okay.
Which was in the Soviet
Formerly,
States.
yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
And he had, I think, a trilogy of movies where it's like the underbelly of Russia, and they're witches and magicians and demons, and it's called Night Watch. You guys, have you seen that?
No.
Werewolves. It's crazy. That's why I was gonna say Jesus Christ, Werewolf Slayer, because of like combining thing. But there, he did something.
They good? Were they good?
I remember really liking the first one because like when the vampires spoke, the subtitles started turning red, like oozing in.
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
vampires in it too. You should check it out. I mean,
Okay.
I remember it being energetic and fun and original, and oh, look at that. That's pretty cool.
I also got pretty frustrated watching this, and there was a moment where I turned it off. I watched it over the course of 2 days. I did turn
Me too, dude.
I did turn it off when it was clear that they were going to get out of the South via the Underground Railroad and Harriet Tubman herself, and I was like, this is borderline offensive.
I don't even remember that
I
part.
didn't get to that part.
It was that was a moment where I was like, I feel like you should have made. I was like, holy fuck, if this is actually Harriet Tubman. And I believe, Aaron, can you fact check me on this? I believe it was actually Harriet Tubman.
Well, I'm fairly certain it was an actress portraying her.
Well,
That's a
it
good
was not the reanimated corpse of Harriet Tubman. I believe the character was actually Harriet Tubman, and I was like, this is flat out offensive. And
I wrote a bunch of stuff about. I'm not looking at my phone like I'm bored.
yeah, no, please do.
I think that is a similar thing that I was reacting to. Like,
Yes, it was Harriet Tubman.
Yeah,
There it is.
it's such a great story, and there's such meaningful pain in this story, and they did not in any way go into it or unpack it or make the relationships between people have that weight. It was just kind of who's slaughtered next. And because it is such wonderful and revered folklore, like a woman, who freed slaves, who was black, and all of it, Abe Lincoln, there's so much there, and that's in the script. I get making a pop film. We're not going to teach you anything. We're just going to get gory, I guess, but it's disappointing that they didn't for what I expected.
They also seem to just jump from, like, they tried to give it Abraham Lincoln weight.
Oh my God. Okay.
No, what were you gonna say?
I said that my review was called to say that this movie is flaccid epicness.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, they tried to give it this epic weight because it was Abraham Lincoln. But your movie's called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. It feels like the structure that stands on, the foundation that it stands on, cannot actually handle the weight of you being like, this is important. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he like really can't. These moments of like, I have to put my vampire hunting ways in the past because now I need to be a politician and stop slavery. It's
because he's saying violence is not the answer.
Yeah.
But even when his son Tad was bit by the nanny vampire, you don't see Tad die. You just see like her veiny face when she's close to him. And it's like you're not going into what could be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like him mourning, he comes in and sees the dead child, and you don't even have a close-up of the child. And the doctor says, yeah, I've never seen anything like this. And then Abe knows, like, oh, it's a vampire bite. But it's not human. There's no room for like a human complex reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the guy that played Abraham Lincoln
Careful. This could be through
was
the lens.
horribly miscast.
Exactly. This could be through the lens of jealousy. Great. He's tall. Big fucking
Big
deal.
fucking deal. Looks really good without his shirt on. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Great.
No added comedic moment.
What about
Yeah.
those axe
Ugh.
movements?
Yeah.
That I believe he is a stand-up comedian.
No way.
Yeah, I think he is actually a stand-up comedian, which is an odd thing, I think, and obviously they were calling me in, so in a certain way, maybe they were looking for like a tongue-in-cheek actor or a more comedic actor to play this part. But the movie's so fucking serious about everything. It feels like, and so when I do say miscast, maybe it is like we're going to hire a more funny person to play Abraham Lincoln. But when they're making the movie, they make it serious. And those two things just didn't gel. And I'm not saying anything against the guy that played him. He probably has a great range. But it just felt like they never really had an idea of like what tone they wanted to bring, so it just ends up being kind of flat. You know what I mean?
I'm on board. Yeah. Anything else in your notes there you want to like run through?
I remember seeing this I just want to throw out before you do. I remember seeing this in the movie theater. I went to go see it to be like, how'd that movie that I auditioned for turn out? And when he like brings the axe out of retirement and he's trying to do the axe tricks and it falls out of his hands and he's like, I don't have it anymore. Just being like, fuck this. Anyway, go on.
By the way, this actor went on in 2021 to be in a miniseries called The Underground Railroad.
Oh. That's a great bit of information.
Did he play Harriet Tubman?
One of my favorite lines.
Somehow would have been less offensive than Harriet Tubman in this movie is him playing Harriet Tubman in the miniseries.
Good Lord. How? Abraham fucking Lincoln. That was a great line. When the vampire's like, Abraham fucking Lincoln. And then, boom, the axe. I love that line. Jimmy Simpson rules.
Yeah, he's
Jimmy
great.
Simpson
I
is
love
fun.
him.
He's great. He's a nice guy.
One of my favorite lines, then I laughed my ass off, was when they were revealing the head vampire and the music and everything swells up and they go, and his name is Adam.
That guy's a great actor. He's on Diplomat. Rufus Sewell, I think is.
Oh, yeah.
He's great. He's
Yeah.
a wonderful actor.
Nothing against him. Just
Just pointing out. Everybody makes movies.
I like the twist about a vampire not able to kill another vampire.
Yeah.
That was a cool. Oh,
And I had forgotten that is it Henry? He like had been turned and like so he had become this sort of like it's now my life's mission to kill all these vampires because they took everything from me and I'm a vampire and I can't, so I've got to train these other people. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's a cool twist.
that's a great twist.
It is.
Yeah, great twist.
I had one more. I don't have to read it. I had one more problem. I think that one of the
One more?
well, there were several, but one big one that could have made me jump on the train a little bit more was when he's cutting the tree. Why does it explode? He doesn't have powers though.
Yeah.
So I understand the vampire is able to do that, and that gives your villain the upper hand. And having Abraham Lincoln with silver cutting them, and that creates a good problem because it's like zombies. Like, there's so much suspense. But they're jumping from horse to horses and shit.
Yes.
Well, this is a common thing we talk about. The CGI takes you out of it. There was
Yeah.
a lot of CGI that, like, the practical fighting was really fun and the choreography you so appreciate. But we need to have a word for that, Tim, when we get into a movie where the CGI is kind of making you want them to have done it practically. Like the
think
uncanny valley or
that's
whatever.
the only thing you got to have a job.
I do have that
You gotta
skill,
have
but it's
that
not
job.
useful.
It becomes a little uncanny valley-ish, especially in that horse sequence.
He
when they're
throws a
jumping.
horse at him.
He throws a horse at him, and like I understand that by the leg, and it hits him. Horses weigh like 1,500 pounds. If that hits you going 30 miles an hour,
You're dead.
You're dead. But he just like slides back and gets up on the horse and starts riding it. But horses are fragile. If you swing one by the leg, that leg's broken. You got to. The horse is done. You got to kill the horse.
And if I have the power as a vampire to move as an apparition, to turn into dust and pop in on the other end of the room, why is that axe ever going to strike me? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'll
like
just go into
Nightcrawler.
apparition mode.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you that it felt like it was just kind of like grabbing things to try to be exciting, and like the, you know, what do you hate, or when the tree explodes because he hits it so hard, that it was like, oh, he's trying to say that like what you hate will never be as powerful as what is the truth, and when you find the truth, that is very powerful. And I guess that relates to the truth of that slavery is wrong. But I do agree that when the tree explodes, it's like he's still just a guy. He's still just like kind of a lanky guy from Illinois.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trees don't explode for a guy like that. I don't know. Like,
If it would have been more like Van Helsing, I think that could have been cool, where as his age progresses, he has to like create artifacts to fight them, like one that comes out and kills him, or because he's getting older. I didn't do that.
Also, like,
yeah.
also give Anthony Mackie more to do.
For real. That was one of my favorite
since
surprises.
He's a slave, especially since he's a slave, give him some time to like get some vengeance on these white vampires. You know what I mean? That would really pull the audience in, because you're hooking them up and you're saying you're equal. Let them be equal in the story.
I agree.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who I think is a fantastic actress.
Yep.
Like this really, like I was watching it just being like, man, they are hanging her out to dry. And I understand she's probably like, you know, on the come up a little bit, and you know, this like a good opportunity, and it's a, you know, it's a big movie. These books have done really well. And you know, she gets to be like the lead in a movie, and they kind of again like have like this tacked on thing where she also gets to get revenge on a vampire, but mostly she's there just to be like, Abraham, why?
Yeah.
Whatever are you doing?
She's the modern day Mona Lisa. She
Yeah.
has such a soothing face.
Yeah.
And like, I think they used her for that.
Yeah, it was really just like who can show up that like has like gravitas that we'll just like immediately love her, even though we give her nothing to do in this story.
That's
She
upsetting.
teaches him to dance. I think she gives him some. She endows him with something.
Yeah.
which
Like,
maybe
gives you
helps
rhythm
him
in
fight.
fights.
Yeah, maybe it helps him fight vampires
Ooh.
better. We should probably start wrapping up because I'm
Yeah.
going to get angry.
Yeah.
Angrier. We always ask one question: would you vote for this president?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Easy, easy
Hell yeah.
peasy.
Be funny after the way
No.
we started this episode, you were like, nah.
He needs to prove himself.
He needs to prove himself. I actually like, I really liked the South. I really like, you could come in with a fucking rebel flag. Oh, I saw a really funny TikTok video recently of a woman who was like, had a Confederate flag, and she was like, this flag represents my culture. And my culture is taking a fat fucking L, and just like keeps dabbing and being like, I'm a fucking loser. And it's just, I don't know. I really liked it. Just the thing of my culture is taking a fat fucking L.
Yeah.
All right. So you would vote for Abraham Lincoln.
100%.
Okay. I'm going to say cool. That's awesome. The other question that we ask is, it's called the Shimizu Heat. And this is from Walshy and I. We had the same dentist before we even met.
A man named Peter
A man named
Shimizu,
Peter Shimizu.
who has since retired.
Retired, and we noticed around season 3 of Veep that when we would go in to get a cleaning, you know how the hygienist does it most of the time, and then the dentist just comes in at the very end, takes the thing, and he's like, tap, 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 tap. All right, you're good. Or you got a cavity, come back in 6 weeks. We got to take care of that. We noticed around season 3 that he would like halfway through, he would tap out the hygienist and he would do the cleaning himself so he could get a little FaceTime. And we were like, and we both noticed this separately when we talked about it. And we were like, oh, I think this means that like we've got a little bit of Shimizu heat. Like the show's doing well.
He was aware of our celebrity.
He was aware of the
He wanted
celebrity.
some
Great name.
FaceTime with us.
FaceTime.
Yep.
So the question is, who do you think in this movie has the Shimizu heat? Like who's on the come up as a performer?
As an
Mackie
actor.
and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Both good. Both
Yeah.
good, yeah.
They were great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think them too.
great.
For sure. I mean, like Mackie ultimately goes on to do like Marvel stuff. He's definitely on the come up, and
He's great. Yeah. He
Yeah.
was in the studio too. He was funny in that.
Oh yeah, the studio was hilarious.
Yeah.
tried to watch it with Annie, with my wife, and she doesn't do well with comedy of like embarrassment or comedy of anxiety.
Okay.
And it was really funny because during scenes, like even in the pilot, she would just get up and leave the room and I would pause it so that she didn't miss anything, and she started getting mad that I was pausing it. She was like, I'm getting up and leaving the room so I don't have to see this happen.
You're like, don't miss anything.
Yeah, don't miss anything. Pause. So, those are our questions.
So, what do you have to promote?
Our movie, sir.
What is it called?
The Unexpecteds is an action comedy about 5 friends that lose their life savings to a YouTuber that scams them. And now these suburban dads got to find a way to get the money back.
Hell yeah.
It's out on October 14th on iTunes and on physical media, but hopefully you can pre-order the movie as of now. It's executive produced by Kevin Smith.
Heard of him.
He's a little known guy.
Yeah. He's got some Shimizu heat too. He's on the come up.
Dude.
Young guy just starting out.
He released Dogma yesterday.
Yeah,
Wait, did it come out yesterday?
And I didn't even congratulate him or anything.
that's all right.
That is getting like. Did you know that Dogma Blu-rays go like the old ones because it's been caught up in this rights thing? They go for like $250 on
Wow.
eBay. But they're re-releasing it on Blu-ray because he finally got the rights back.
Good for him.
That's De Hoyos' favorite Kevin Smith movie.
Oh.
What was it?
Where can I find the physical media version of your movie?
MVD Entertainment. I'm sure if you go like Google, maybe we'll pop something like Amazon or whatever up.
Okay.
But if you guys have iTunes, The Unexpecteds, you can follow us on Instagram on @the.unexpecteds or Alejandro Montoya Marin.
All right, great.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you for
This has
having
been
me. This
fucking
was
awesome,
awesome.
man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Great show, guys.
I can really see why people are excited to work with you and get to know you, and why you're getting drunk with Italians in or Australians in Italy. Like you have a kind of energy that people I think would just be like, yo, I'm gonna go fucking hang out with this guy. This seems like it's gonna rule.
He has a contagious positive energy. I want to shout out to Alejandro got out of semi-retirement Jerry Bednob to do this movie. Do you know who that guy is? He was in 40-Year-Old Virgin. He's,
Zach and Miri make a porno with Kevin Smith?
Yeah, he's an older gentleman, Indian, of Indian descent, and he's really funny in this. He has, he doesn't have as much as everyone else, but it was such a pleasure to see him pop in the movie. You handled him well. So just want to give a little spice to the story.
The cast, man, they're all great. They all Francisco Ramos, Chelsea Rendon, John Kaler, Conopisos, De Hoyos, everyone. This is cool. I've seen your show and your podcast, and it's really cool to be here. And not only that, like that people actually dig your stuff, your work. And I think it just happens naturally when you care for an art form because it just comes out naturally.
Yeah.
So
We're sort of the Criterion closet of podcasts.
Yeah.
Like it's not a huge distribution. It's not a huge distribution model, but people who care about quality of podcasting, we're number one.
We're number one.
There it is.
I think, and we're number
the guests we get.
Yeah, we get good guests. We're number 2 in South Korea, right?
Is that true?
We were.
I think we were.
I don't know if Patreon we permeate.
Yeah,
we did have a weird high South Korean follow. We never talked to our audience, but if you're one of our South Korean followers, find a way to. I'm just curious to meet you. I love finding out how far away.
And honestly, let us. You know what we should be doing? We should be branching out. Like, let us know if there are South Korean films that have the South Korean president.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah,
Prime
you're
Minister.
right.
I actually don't know what they have there.
I love Koreans.
President. It might be.
I hung out with a bunch of Koreans in Vancouver. And it was the best mix of parties because it was half of us were Mexican and half of them were Korean. And it was just the part. So there was this holiday. Why am I bringing this up? Because you guys said Korean. And there was this holiday. I don't remember what the holiday was, but they had us like come in and they take off your shoes and all this stuff, and you're sitting down. And it's because I lived with 2 guys in an apartment that were studying English, and they befriended all the Koreans and Mexicans would hang out in the ESL class. So I remember walking up and they're like, Alejandro, what do you want to drink? I think I said vodka, And they were like, we don't have any vodka, but good Lord. They were like, Sung-Yu. And Sung-Yu came in and he goes, Alejandro wants some vodka. And I'm like, homie, I'll drink whatever you have. Don't worry about it. Sung-Yu went and got me a bottle of Stoli.
Oh.
And the way that they treated us while we were there, come September 15th, which is, the Mexican independence, we threw a party and we had a bunch of Koreans eating pozole, dancing to Control Machete, and it was amazing to get out of the elevator. It was amazing for us, not for our neighbors. The elevator, and then just a line of people eating pozole, and they're all Korean.
Do you know? Can I tell you who makes?
Happy Independence Day. I forgot to tell you.
Happy
guys.
Mexican Independence Day. You know who
Sorry.
makes a mean pozole?
Oh,
I do.
Walsh.
It's been a while. Thank you, Tim.
Matt Walsh.
I love pozole.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's the bomb.
It's probably not like 4-star, but it's really good.
I've always.
It's a great comfort food. Are you fucking kidding me?
I love it.
Yeah.
Tomatillo style. All right.
All right.
Take us home, Tim.
We have been Second in Command. We are a podcast about the politics of cinema and cinema about politics. Just generally, cinema, television, and politics are going great right now, and Walsh and I are very happy. You can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/Second in Command. The entire Rewatch catalog is back there behind the paywall if you're interested in that. First episode of every month is free. After that, you got to subscribe. Super cheap, guys. $5 a month. We're not trying to make all the money off you. We're just trying to you know what? We're trying to just to make a living.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut that part out. Wasn't a
They're
great.
trying to
pitch.
retire now.
We're trying to retire off this. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.